Good Wednesday morning. I hope it's a good morning for everybody. I've been up since 8 doing things and it's already 2 hours later. Oh boy, my phone, I left it in the other room. Oh well, it's gonna stay there. Because I am not going to get it. So as I was outside walking Tycho, or Tycho was walking me, I noticed all the Mount Talk daisies are blooming. They look like white daisies. This is the time of year they start to bloom. It looks beautiful on the side of the house. But then I was saying to myself, what's today? October what? 2nd? There's an importance to that. For me, there is. And then I was like, really looking, I said, oh, it's going to be easier this year. And that would be, first of all, I got to put all the pool stuff away, which I haven't done yet, which I'm going to maybe do this afternoon. But it's time to forget about Halloween is a few weeks away. I get it. But for those who know me, know this is the time that I start thinking about Christmas decorations. And I was like, I better do it before the weather turns. So sometime this week, I'm going to start thinking about the Christmas decorations. I told Mom I'm not doing it this year just to see what she would say. She said, what are you, crazy? But there were two big trees on the side of the garage. I had to cut them in half. I forgot what they call them. Oh, jeez. They're like a shrub, but these grow tall. Oh my God. I don't even know the name of them. Well, mine were like 30 feet high. That's weird. And every time I go near them, I get like an allergic reaction from them. It makes me break out an itch from touching them. So I'm glad I cut them. Okay, I'm looking. Ornamental trees. I'm trying to see the name of them. I have them all over the place. No, it's not going to be under ornamental trees. Trees. It's not really a tree. It's not falling under the shrub category, which is bizarre. No. They have to have them. This is the time of year that they plant them. Trees? Ornamental trees? Privacy? Oh, that's it. I found it. Oh, I definitely found it. It's a Thuja evergreen. That's what they're called. It would be this. Now, there were two of them on the side of the house by the garage. And it would be these. I just did an update. Oh, I hate when that happens. I just did a driver update for my video card. Every time I do that, it messes me up. So now we have to change the properties to share the right screen. There it is. Should work now. Those, for some reason, if I go near them, they make me itch and break out. So I had two of them on the side of the house by the garage. It was like 25 feet high. And I would go on a ladder and put Christmas lights on them. Good morning, Genghis. I would put Christmas lights all around them on a tall ladder, even stepping on the garage roof and wrapping them around like that. So this year, because I have those trees are cut in half, they still grow. I cut them in half. Well, more than half, like 2/3. So they're like parallel to the height of the garage. So I was saying to myself, I don't have to climb up a ladder this year. Because that's the hardest part of the Christmas decorations, those tall trees, two of them. I don't have them anymore. They're like my height now. That's easy. So I just scored. I forgot. I don't have to wrap those up with lights. And now I got a lot of extra lights, string lights, because I don't need them for those trees anymore. So, yeah, that bridge. We'll get into that. Yeah, there's a Ring of Fire eclipse today. We can look that up. I'm sure Mark D'Antonio will stream. If he's able to. So it says here, annual solar eclipse will turn the sun into a glorious ring of fire today. Here's where to catch the spectacular phenomenon. It begins its journey across parts of the Pacific Ocean, southern Chile, and southern Argentina. So it's really the southern hemisphere. You can watch it online at space.com. It'll be first visible at 12:50 p.m. Eastern. However, the best time to watch the live streams will be from 3:03 to 3:09 Eastern. So if you go to space.com, you'll be able to see it. They're saying here the best time is from 3:03 to 3:09 Eastern. There you go. I'm reading it now. This is off of space.com. So I don't know what I'll be doing. I can't share it because it's ridiculous now. You're stealing! Darcy Weir started his show on KGRA last week. He had a person send the music licensed, and you know what happened, right? YouTube, bang! He cleared it up. YouTube, he gave them the licensing information, and they solved it. Because thank gosh for that. But it is really, really nutty. So, from, like I said, space.com, 3:03 to 3:09, yeah, Eastern. Best time to view it. So, just go to space.com for more information. That's what I'm reading off of. But, so yeah, I'm contemplating. It was done quickly, yeah. Darcy sent me the email. It happened quick. I could read to you what YouTube said. Because I have to save that email for my records that we have permission to write it, to run it. Oh shit, what's going on here? Okay, that was a different message. That was a different email. I don't know what I did with it. That's not good. I forwarded it to, all right, sent items. I forwarded it to Chanel. There it is. I better keep that. Okay. Okay, that was what they sent him. And his dispute. I have the licensing. I better download that. I have attached the order. I better download this. Download. That's the actual license. Okay, I just downloaded it. But it was solved. That's the point. Oops, something went wrong. But it was resolved. Your dispute has been submitted. Oh, there it is. The license and information that the YouTube copyright claim was lifted and removed today. So it happened quick. That was yesterday, though. It took almost a week. But yeah, he cleared it up, thankfully. It's only going to be nice for a handful of minutes, Genghis. Only less than 10 minutes. Hi, Candace, and have a great day. No riding today. No. I've 5 of the last 6 days bike riding. I need a break. I need a chill pill. No, it's beautiful out. I just need a break. Yesterday, as Genghis mentioned, I did a ride from my driveway. I didn't even take the car. I rode my bike from my driveway over the Beacon Bridge. And let me tell you, it was a little dicey. I mean, it was narrow, and the fence was, I would say, 4 feet high, right along the edge where you see, and it has the open spaces, so you see everything. It's not like the fence is obstructing your view. You see everything. And, you know, and I'm trying to turn my head with the GoPro on top of my helmet while looking that way with one eye looking ahead, kind of a deal. Like, I got to be able to drive straight. The last thing I need to do is hit a wall, which would not be good. And I was starting to get like dizzy. Oh, the sitting on the seat, I'm above the railing. Oh, there's no doubt about that. You could tell when I'm on the camera. I mean, when the camera's filming, I'm gonna show you quick. I did it on YouTube. It was beautiful though. I didn't realize how close it was to my house. It was really close. I'll mute it. Yeah. Yeah, one eye on the road and one eye on the bridge. It was like I thought I was gonna be stuck like on cross-sightedness or something, because it wasn't easy. And I started to get dizzy from doing that. I started to get dizzy. I mean, there's only so much you can look like with one eye this way and one eye straight. It's kind of a weird thing to put the stress on your eyes. Not good. Hold on. I'm getting ready to share it. So this is leaving my driveway. This is literally leaving my driveway and going down this road. Now, this dummy forgot to take my SD card because I had uploaded video from the other day. I just heard a freaking voice. My mother's sleeping. I just heard a voice in my room. Like a woman's voice. Did you hear that? That was bizarre. That was weird. But anyway, and I forgot to put it in the GoPro, so I didn't get to record it. So the only video I have is from the live stream, which I was kind of upset. No, the drain is fine now. They fixed it. They did a whole service there. They tore it up and they fixed it. Thank God. I sent them videos and everything. I was on top of that. I wasn't messing around. Well, that's one thing about me. I have a big mouth, and I'm not afraid to open it. At all. Even when I'm riding the bike, I'm singing. I don't care what anybody thinks or says. I'm doing me. Maybe it was Mom, because now I hear. Mom, did you say anything about 3 minutes ago? Yes. You're supposed to take all 4. So here I am going down my road to this. I'm flying. Believe me, the signal goes in and out because right there is a dead spot. It's a known dead spot. I know that. But I'm moving. Now coming up, see, I'm looking behind me for cars. Coming up was the oldest tree. It was over 200 years old, but they had to cut it because it was dying right there, right in the right. The oldest tree. It was almost 300 years old. Now they had to cut it and they put a plaque. So this is like right down the road from me. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful area. It's just weird doing this on a bike and not in a car. The signal will get better. There's a lot of dead zones in my area because we're a little remote. So you can see I'm pedaling. Look at my head bouncing. So you know I'm pedaling. It's not like I'm just using the electric. I am hustling. A rear view mirror. The only problem with the rear view mirror, Kingus, I would have to take it off every time I use the bike because the way the bike folds and I put it in, I don't want the mirror to get damaged. So I was thinking about it. And plus, my handlebars, there's no room for anything on my handlebar anymore. I got so many gadgets on my handlebar now. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous how much stuff I have on my handlebar. I can't fit anything else. So see how the signal? I have a phone holder that's holding the MiFi. I have the light switch. And I have the e-bike controller. I have an actual light that I had to modify from the bike. I built it myself. I put the front light of the e-bike on the handlebars because it snapped off where it was on the bottom by putting the bike in the car. So I had to figure out a way to rewire it to put it on top of the handlebar, which I did. So I had to modify. So the handlebars is completely full of stuff. So here's the bridge. Look how close the bridge is to my house. It's ridiculous. Oh, I know all about it, Julian. Trust me, I know all about it. Toby and I were just talking about it on the show. Because now I'm his co-host. So this is the bridge. Now look, watch, Candace, look. It's about 200 feet up. It's not high. It's high. At least 200 feet up. There's no doubt about that. I could look it up after. So now this is what I was telling Genghis. I'm looking, and you, and anybody else who's watching, I had one eye. When you see me turn my head toward the side, looking at the Hudson, well, obviously the camera is on top of my helmet. So as I turn my head, so does the camera turn. So I'm looking toward the side with one eye, and the other eye is looking at the path in front of me. Try it sometime on a narrow path like this. See, I'm getting used to it. Look, you'll see me do more of it. It's like there's people walking. I got to be careful. How the two balloons. Oh yes, Genghis. It is a beautiful view. Those are the Fishkill Mountains. You'll see what I say. Well, I'll put it on later. So George Washington headquarters is to the right off screen. He put it there because you see that mountain range? See that mountain range right there? Washington put his headquarters there for two reasons. He knew that the British or even the French would have difficulty getting over that mountain range. They would detect them and they would repel them. Also, this is where the Hudson River snakes down to the opening by New York City, to the Atlantic. And they put these things across the river that would sink the British ships coming up, or the French, coming up the Hudson. So this was a very strategic point. That's why George Washington put his headquarters there. But see how I'm looking sideways to the Hudson? So I'm looking with one eye that way, and I'm trying to ride the bike straight with it was not easy. Not easy. God forbid I hit that rail. Now look how high. Where's the camera? Where's my helmet? Over the railing. I am over the railing in height. You could tell. So, and you could see everything because the fence has spaces. Now I didn't want to look to the left because there's a gap between the highway and the bike thing here, this path, and it just drops. It's not a good thing to look at. So I wasn't paying attention to that. But it's a beautiful view. No doubt. Genghis. It's a beautiful view, though. It is. It's right near my house. Look how quick it was from driving from my driveway to the bridge. And you see a lot of people riding their bikes on it and walking. It's a little tight, though. See, depending on the signal, now it looks a little clearer. See how the video cleared up a little bit? Looks good. But see, that's metal plates. So imagine if it was rainy or wet. That would be dangerous, slippery. I would never go over this if wet or worse. Never. I would never take that. That's dangerous. God forbid. I mean, but it's high. It don't be fooled. That's pretty high. I should have stopped on the bridge and looked around. I should have. This may not be the last time I do this. You're good? Yeah, that's not concrete, obviously. That's a metal plate. And that is not exactly the safest thing to be riding on. If it's wet. Or ice. Oh, forget about ice. Cold temperatures, wet, never. That is just risky, dangerous. And it's a pretty, it's not a short distance to go over the Hudson here. You could see how long it's taken me to get over the Hudson. It's a nice little ride. That's the Metro North train that comes up north here, and that goes all the way to New York City. That's how a lot of people park and commute to go to work. They live up here, and that's why the real estate here is of value, because a lot of people don't want to live in New York City, which I don't blame them, and they live up here and they commute. Instead of using their cars, they park and ride. They park their cars and they take the mass transit to New York City. It's smart. I don't blame them. It's a smart thing to do. But it also helps us living so close to it that our property values are higher because of it, if you understand that. You know what I mean? Because they want the houses near here so they can get out of, like me. I could ride to, just imagine if I worked in New York City, I could ride my bike to the train, because I'm going to the Metro North Station right now. That's where I went. And how long has the video been running? 10 minutes? And I'm already across the bridge on a bike? I could commute on a bike. I don't even have to take the car. That's weird, that garbage can by itself. I didn't see that. Why? Now, there's a golf course to the right. You can't see it. There's a golf course. You worked off a bike on a patch of... You wrecked off a bike on a patch of ice in Dallas? Oh, my God. Yeah, there's a lot of European countries, there's a lot of countries, period, that do a lot of cycling. You see it. Just look at India. I mean, you could go to a lot of countries. In the Philippines, in Asia, in Europe. You see it all the time. Yeah, well, up here, it's beautiful. The bike lanes here, they're pretty good. Now, this I did not like. What's up? I can't... Dolly. This is from yesterday morning. I'm not going bike riding today because I have a meeting in 90 minutes. I might start doing my Christmas lights, going through. I'm getting ready for my Christmas lights, believe it or not. 3-inch strip of paint on the road. Oh my God. Oh my God. What game? I own 225 games. That's a hard question. That's a really hard question. What game do I love the most? Flying games. They are my favorite. Like Ace Combat. They are my favorite. And racing. But like I haven't even played Star Wars Outlaws yet. So this is where I wasn't too happy about riding on the sidewalk here. I wasn't too crazy about this. Because there's no bike lane. They're saying this is the bike lane. There was a sign. So I'm cruising. Have a great one. Oh no. Going to the doctor for clearance. Yeah, well, every time you get surgery, you got to go to your doctors to get the clearance in order to have the surgery. I have to go through that too. When I had rotator cuff, I went through all kinds of cardiologist, physician. They had to clear me before I had the surgery. That was like 5 years ago now. Maybe more. I know. Candace, been there, done it. I know. Yeah, Dolly, I appreciate it, but if I needed artwork and stuff, I have, I definitely have the assets from my job to do it for me. But I appreciate your offer. I do this, I do this for fun. I don't really do this to get 1,000 million viewers. I just do it to enjoy. Believe it or not, this is how I enjoy myself when I'm not doing other things. I thought I took the right road and I ended up going the wrong way. Oh, Mama's listening to Amazing Grace. So I'm going to fast forward a little. I got to close that door because she'll drive me nuts with the music. So I had to go back and take this road. Let me close the door and go by the Metro North. Genghis, I just had King's Cake coffee. I just made a fresh pot. It was so good. And you're always welcome to stop by, Dolly. But like I said, I appreciate your offer. It was back in the youthful days. I had a job close to the house, so I'd walk or ride the bike to work. The first hard winter in Dallas broke me trying to ride a bike in the winter. Oh my God. So this is the Metro North station right here. See how everybody parks and commutes. It's funny because I didn't see a train yesterday while I was riding. That's rare. That is the Metro North station. I love it. I'm telling you, Genghis, I bought 3 bags. I have to have my King's Cake coffee. I don't drink it all the time. I drink regular coffee, but I like my King's Cake to throw it off. So I just made a fresh pot. So now I'm going to go to a park right near the Metro North station. Right on the other side of the Hudson. It's beautiful. This is Beacon, New York. It's a beautiful hamlet. If you go down Main Street, it looks like you're in Lower Manhattan. It has a very, very similar appearance and vibe, like if you were in the Lower East Side or the Lower West Side of Manhattan with the quaint little stores, storefronts. It's freaking beautiful. Okay, I'm going to make a left. And now we're going to go by the water. Look how clean and beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful up here. So now we're on the other side of the Hudson. And I think I'm going to be pointing out George Washington's headquarters on the other side, which is a big tourist attraction. Yep. So right on the other side, it's hard to see it because there's no zoom feature, but right where I'm pointing is George Washington's headquarters. Exactly where I'm pointing. Right there. George Washington's headquarters. Pretty cool. And that's the bridge we went over. And you're right near the water. I mean, look. It's so cool to do this. I love doing this. I have all the photos that I took when I was there with Kriston. All right, let me pause. Not pause, fast forward a little because this is just going through here. I think I end. Okay, the path. I hate when it does that. So I'm riding now through a path right along the Hudson. A trail. The Metro North is on the left. The Hudson is right next to me on the right. But they're doing a lot of construction ahead. I couldn't take the path I wanted to do. It's a beautiful area, but I couldn't get access to it because they were doing work. They closed it off. I was hoping to get there, but I couldn't. So this is off-road. This is like crushed gravel dirt. And you could see the signal having issues. But again, this is beautiful. I'm right next to, look how close I am to the Hudson. The water is right there. Look how close. It's right along the river. And you'll see openings where people would hang out. Sometimes there's a table there. It's pretty nice. And then after I got through here, I went to the other little park area over here on the other side, right here. Then I stopped over here. There was a lot of Canadian geese. They were everywhere. Oh my gosh. And I didn't want to bother them. They're all over there. There were so many. That's the bridge I went over. Nice. Really nice. Look at all the geese. You can't really tell, but that's the bridge. I didn't stick around. See all the geese? And I didn't want to bother them. I wanted to go down that trail, but I said, that would make them all fly. I didn't want to do that. So I decided, let's go back the way we came. And then, of course, I had to go back and get back to the bridge. I think I really tried to look a lot off to the left now. This is where I was getting dizzy. I was doing it too much. Because I really, really wanted to get the view on camera. But it was getting to the point where I had to stop turning my head because I was starting to get dizzy. It is peaceful. The bass is in April. They come up the Hudson. They spawn, the striped bass. It's only for like a 2-week period. And then they go back out to the Sound, Long Island Sound. So you only have a little period of time every year to get the striped bass. And it is crazy up here during that period. But they come up here to spawn. See how I'm looking a lot toward the side now? I do a lot of it. And I'm trying to stay going straight while I'm looking sideways. This is the last place you want to hit a railing or something. Oh my God. You see how I'm looking off to the side? You can see the helmet. Look at the helmet. I'm trying to get the camera to look off to the side as much as possible. Like that. It's just it's really hard. Because the last thing I want to do is hit a railing. What a view, though. And it's long. It's not short. Now, obviously, if there's people in front of me, I'm going to pay attention. But you notice, it's funny, I noticed that people, they don't like to walk close to the railing. They stay on the inside. It's like they don't want to get that close to the railing. Oh my gosh. Me? Let's do it. I'm right on it. You can't be, if you're afraid of heights, this is not something you want to do. That's for sure. I mean, especially what I'm doing. Oh my God. It would be a nightmare. Is that trail in Dutchess County? No, the ones when I go to the Empire. I was technically in Dutchess County in Beacon. Technically. But that's not really a major trail. The ones that I do all the time is Dutchess County. But I wouldn't consider this, no. When I go to Hopewell Junction, that's the Dutchess County, that's the Dutchess Rail Trail. This is going from Dutchess now to Orange, my county. Look how beautiful, though. I bet you a lot of people do this in the summer. And on the weekend, oh my God, it must be a nightmare to go over this bridge. There's probably a lot of people that do it. They just rebuilt this bridge, everything. They redid it. You could tell. You couldn't tell they redid the highway, they redid this, they redid everything. Look how high it is, though. When you really look at it, it's high. And we're coming down now. So George Washington's headquarters would be to the left, but like maybe 2 miles. I always wonder what this all looked like back then. This would be all wooded. Can you imagine how beautiful? I mean, it's beautiful now, but it's developed. Can you imagine back in time, 200 years ago? 300 years ago? I swear I would have loved to live in that time period. Despite how difficult it would be by horse carriage, still. You would have to take a boat to get to the other side. There was no bridge. I actually enjoyed going around this little turn. And I was doing a little speed too. I love that. I'm looking for cars. Yeah, so that's pretty much yesterday's venture. Now, what I will be doing. Oh, and here's the pool invention that I did. All right, let's get to the pool. That's when I'm going to the backyard. Yep. Okay. So this is that netting I keep talking about that I created last year, and it worked phenomenal to keep the leaves out of the pool. I bought this mesh, and I tied it down. The pool is completely sealed. See the leaves on top? The pool is already closed with the cover, but look at that. Look at that. There's no leaves inside that pool. They're all sitting on the top. And when the wind comes, it just blows them right off. This was the best thing I ever made last year. And it covers the entire pool on the sides, on top. So it's not like the leaves are going to go in from the sides. That mesh covers the entire pool surf area. Look at that. That is awesome. What's up, Michael? And you don't know the hassle that saves me, because I have a lot of leaves, a lot of trees. Even though I cut a lot, there's still trees. The wind carries those leaves. I mean, I would have to go into other people's properties and cut all those trees down. But this is a big game changer. And that's the stuff I got to put away right there. That's pool stuff. I got to put that in the shed and take all the Christmas stuff out. Now, if you see the sand, the filter, it's empty. I took all the sand out. It was due. Next year, I'll put new sand, and I put this cover, so I'm going to actually flip it over. I'm actually going to put a tarp over it because I don't want no water getting in there, or ice could crack it. It could crack it. So I got to do that. That's another thing I got to do, and put all this stuff away and start bringing out the Christmas stuff in the shed. And that shed is packed. Packed. There's the, see? It's winterized. I put antifreeze in my lines. I do everything. It's all done. I just gotta put everything away now. There's a camera up there. There's cameras everywhere, by the way. My whole house has cameras. Everywhere. There's a camera in that corner over there. See it? There's a camera on the shed. There's a camera on the side of the house. There's a camera on the driveway. There's a camera on the garage. There's a camera on the other side of the house. On this, there's so many cameras. There's one right there. There's a camera. And there's a camera. Let me fast forward. The signal was terrible. I didn't see this far into the video. Wow, it's really bad. There's the panels. See, that's the trees I was talking about. These trees would be 25 feet high. These two. I put Christmas lights on them every year. Not this year, because they cut, because they were blocking the solar panels. So I had to cut them. So now I don't have to go crazy this year putting lights on them. I'm so happy. Oh my God, I'm so happy. And then there are lights. There's a light on the garage. I mean, a camera. Why isn't it working? There's a camera here. Up the driveway. There's one on the top of the garage. There's one here. There's the ring here. There's another ring on the door over there. There's a ring on the back of the house. Remember, I put a new roof. I redid the tiles this past spring. Took them all out. Ripped it all out. And put them back in place. I fixed all the tiles on the side here. Regrouted it. I painted the house. I did, like I said, there's a new roof. I did half of it. They did the other half. So there's a camera. And there's another camera. And there's another camera. So yep, I've got the whole place monitored. Oh yeah. And the garage came out beautiful. I did a hell of a job on that garage. I really did a hell of a job on that garage, refacing it. No doubt. That was the hardest part, doing that. Oh my God, did I go crazy doing that garage. I had to resurface it because there were cracks. And then I had to paint. I painted all those white lines with, not paint, concrete dye, white dye. And then I did all the gray with gray concrete dye. Each box, one by one. Do you know how pain in the you know what that was? You have no idea. I have enough. There is, I can't fly my drone here. I'm too close to the airport. I'm blocked, but I'm working on that. I finished half the course. I got to do the other half. So yeah, I redid the whole house. Everything. Everything. So I ain't got to worry about that for quite some time now. I don't know if I'll be alive to see the next time it needs to all be done. I painted the house when I first moved here 18 years ago. And I just painted it again this year. That garage was done 2 years later. So say 15 years ago. It was overdue to resurface it. And I have a whole way of doing it. It's mortar. Now, I don't have to worry about going over the original, but you have to put the metal mesh, screw it into the walls so that the mortar can hold in place. Otherwise, it's just going to slide right off. That was a pain in the... That was a pain initially when I built it, when I made that. It was a pain. And my trick was, when I put the mortar on, before it was dry, I had a bucket and with water. And I would take a paintbrush, like a 2-inch or 3-inch paintbrush, and get rid of the excess water and smooth out the mortar. And I would do sections at a time. And then I had another paintbrush that I broke. And I drew those patterns out of my head. I just started making these lines, like a cobblestone pattern. Then, after I made those lines, I took the other brush and got, as you have to let it dry a little though, and got rid of the excess coming out of the lines to smooth that out. Follow? It was a procedure. This was crazy to build, to do that. Because when you're taking the paintbrush and you're making those lines, obviously all that mortar is coming out from the line and it's coming out along the edges. You got to get rid of all that. So smooth. And then I had to let that dry. And then, like I said, paint the lines, well, with dye. Let that dry. And then do the box, each one, with the gray, really carefully because you don't want to mess up the lines that you just painted. So that's tedious. That was insane. That took me a few weeks. These are the alerts that are coming out in the bottom of the screen from Telegram. And I haven't done it in a long time. But if you look to say, let's go here. I don't think I'm going to get it. There's another thing I did. I planted all this. I built that shed. See that brick? You should have seen how nasty that looked when I moved here. This house was a big-time fixer-upper. I took brick stain and I did each brick individually and made the whole brick area of the house look like brand new with brick stain, which I touched up this summer. That was another nightmare. That took me 2 months because you got to go brick by brick with a 1-inch brush. You don't know what I went through to do that. And you can see that's a new roof. So a lot of work to do all this. Then when the willow tree fell in my house, Superstorm Sandy, see how the bricks look? You could tell. You can tell I did that with brick dye. Not paint, brick dye. Look how nice it came out. Do you realize how much work is involved to do that alone? That's a lot of work. Never paint bricks with paint. Never, ever, ever, because it'll peel, it'll look disgusting. You got to buy the dye. But a willow, before the shed was there was a willow, huge willow tree. Huge. I'm waiting for it to go to the area here. So right in that left side, there was a huge willow tree right next to the shed. The shed wasn't there. So right there, right here, was a giant willow tree. And it fell during Superstorm Sandy. Thank God the main section of the tree landed on my side of the property. Even though some big branch right there, the willow crashed here. But that didn't mean that I didn't have damage on my roof because it was so big, its branches hit this. Ripped my gutter, messed up my roof. The insurance company, of course, took care of all that. But I was very lucky that the main part, the trunk, the main section landed here. If that would have fell toward my house, I wouldn't be here right now. And this whole area was twisted. They had to come in with bulldozers, all kinds of shit to get rid of that, not bulldozers, like a backhoe, all kinds of equipment. They tore my property up, my grass. It took me a long time to get this back to look like this. With grass seed, straw, I went through hell to get my property to look back to what it needed to do. And then, of course, I built the shed. And that's what it's all about. Can you imagine if... Now, I had to pay a crew to come in and do all that. Well, the insurance company covered it. But can you imagine? And the hurricane was a Cat 1 when it hit Jersey, Connecticut, New York City, because they were the ones that were really impacted by Superstorm Sandy. But even up here, almost 100 miles away, we had wind gusts of 70. And remember, those willows, they're top heavy. They have a lot of leaves on them. And they had not fallen yet. And I told my mother, I could bring her in the room, she'll tell you. I said, Mom, that willow's coming down. And a half hour later, it fell. She could tell you. I knew it was coming down. Thank God I wasn't outside because I kept looking at it. I kept going outside to see what the hell was going on. And it did come down. And it was scary because you heard it hit the house. Boom! Mom was in that room, in her bedroom when it happened. She freaked out. So, yeah, scary. Even this far north, there was damage from that hurricane or Superstorm Sandy. And the tornado, in this video, I went down the road where the tornado hit about 5 years ago. It was an EF0, doesn't matter. It was still low grade, but still, it did a lot of damage. I had a lot of damage here. Oh, now the video don't want to work. Okay. This is close. Okay, a little more. All right, right here. This was the road, and Jade could tell you, because he was with me. This is the road where the damage occurred by the tornado. These houses were fine. Not that one. That one was fine with the solar panels. This one on the right was destroyed. The other one next to it, destroyed. And you'll see the newer house. That one was utterly destroyed. The one next to it down there was destroyed. Down there, and this one. A lot of damage. And you could tell they redid this house. You could tell they've been redone. And a lot of damage in the college campus where sadly somebody lost their life in a vehicle by a tree. So this is right down the road from me. So yeah, it was scary. That's where the touchdown happened. that road. And like I said, Jade was with me to drive through the neighborhood to look at what happened. You should have seen it. You should have seen it. It was, I may have the video. I may have it. When we went around, there was no power for 3 or 4 days. It's on my other channel. Let me see. You just seen what it looked like now. You should have seen it. It was sad. And I had damage. Here we go. I found it. And Jade was with me. I'm rewinding. So just think what you just seen. And now look at what happened. This was in, I don't know what year this was in. It's got to be like 5, 6 years already. So that road we just looked at, this is what happened on that road. See the house with the solar panels? Not too bad. This is that road I was just riding on. Look at this. And the house next to it was fine. But after that, and this is Jade. Jade is filming everything. I was talking to people. I was talking to my neighbors. So now he's walking up like I was riding the bike. He's walking up that same road. So he's surveying everything that would happen. It gets worse up there. And actually, I should back it up because Jade went in and was talking to people. A tree fell on that house. It totally took it out. They were inside the house. They were in the basement when it came down on their house. See that? They were in the house. They were only living there for 2 weeks. They had just bought the house. Right down there. So this house didn't sustain that much damage. It was the other house. But he had a tree fall. But that house is totally covered and it went right through the house. It was like, oh my God. And there were people inside. Jade went right in. Yeah, it took out his chimney. You could see that. I think I was talking to a neighbor. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the damage in that house. And it looks nice now. But look what happened. It was twisted. Uprooted these huge trees. And some trees were just snapped. like that. They're lucky that didn't really do too much. Look at that. And they were in the basement. Could you imagine? That must have been scary. I was scared here in this house when this shit was going on. Wow. This just goes to show how much weight I've lost. My God. Look at the trees. Snapped. Remember, it was an EF0. That's the lowest on the scale. But still, this is the kind of damage that occurs. And they had already come in and cut some trees because it was just so bad. And we knew that the power company had taken out the lines. You know, they cut the power. We had no power. Look at that. Look at all the trees down. Not, that's shallow rooted. Look at that. It just went down. They were lucky. Look at the trees coming up, how they just snapped. He got lucky. But look at the trees. They're just stripped. And that's where the person lost their life. Right in there. She was leaving the parking lot and a tree came down on her vehicle. It was so horrible. Look at these trees. They're stripped. They just... Look at that. I'm talking to neighbors, you know. Look at that. So yeah, that's what happened here. A few years back. This was like 5-6 years ago, Stelios. I was in this house. This happened 500, no, not 500, about 1,000 feet from where I live. Close, really close. And I'll never forget. It was a beautiful day, and they were talking about a severe thunderstorm watch. Let me just kill some of these videos, because I got to get off soon. I got a meeting. It's about 4-ish in the afternoon. And on the phone came tornado warning. Seek shelter immediately. The phones are all going off. I'm like, oh shit. When it's a watch, it's different. When it's a warning, that means one is heading your way. Doesn't mean it's going to hit you. It just means that there is one coming your way. So I had this door open and this door open. And I was standing on the other door that goes outside. And all of a sudden, I hear these two doors go boom, close. I said, oh shit, the pressure. So I'm looking out and I see the sky green black. I've never saw that before. I've heard about it. It actually has a greenish, like a dark green look to it. And I said, oh shit, this is for real. So my mother's here, Eric's here, a friend from Boston, because everybody was coming here for Pine Bush for the UFO fair. And all of a sudden, and I'm standing by the front door, I saw the trees in front on the other property over there bend sideways. I said, oh shit. I closed this door, I slammed it. They were on the other side standing in the hallway, screaming, Billy, get over here, get away from there. And I was looking out the windows out of my dining room toward the deck. You know, the glass panel windows thing? And I'm seeing it. And then you hear the debris, trees cracking. You hear all that. And it's like, oh my God. You hear actually like big things like hitting stuff. Like, it was scary. I thought the roof was going to fly off. And it only lasted 10, 15 minutes. And then when it stopped, first of all, I'm thankful that nobody got hurt here. Then it was, I need to go outside and see what the hell all just happened. And the property was a wreck. I had damage all over the place. A tree uprooted on the side of my house, and it came within 1 foot of going through my house. No joke. 1 foot. It was an oak or a maple. It would have went right through the house. It was horrible. And we didn't have power for 4 days. It was, like I said, it was horrific. Now, actually, let me see if I have it somewhere. I know I do. I know I do. But where is it? I actually have the video of chopping the tree on top of my roof. Somewhere. It was sick. Okay, it's not in there. Might be in here. I don't think that's it. This is stunning. Okay, that was Ogden. Let's see if I can find that video quick. I know I have it. Just the problem is where? Bear Mountain? No. Let me go back. You have to see. It was unbelievable. And I'm telling you, it was scary. Scary stuff. I don't think it's in this drive. Maybe it's in E. Videos. Yeah, I think I found it. Yep, I found it. This is my property as a result of that storm. This is what was going on here. And thank God my friends helped me. And we moved his car, and his car got covered. Thank God. The only thing that happened to his car was his antenna bent and broke. But this is my house, and look at the tree that uprooted, and it came within I don't know. I'm sure we'll see it. And I had already started cutting it with the chainsaws up there. Look how close that was to hitting my house. And I'm up there with a chainsaw. David, how the hell have you been? This is years ago, David. So that's how close it was to hitting my house. Yeah, I mean, I have a deck in front now. Look at that. Look at the way it used to look. It's, wow. That's crazy. Look at that. That tree uprooted and almost went through. It was so much debris. I am so surprised that that gazebo didn't go down. And the pool. I got lucky. Very lucky. And then there's this scary clip of me on top of a ladder, on top of a roof, doing this. Like an idiot. I'm trying to secure the ladder through the tree branch that I had just cut to get up there to cut that branch that's coming up. They got it. We have it tied to a rope. The two guys down there are going to pull it to the side to get it away. This was a crazy idea I came up with. So the guys are down there. They got the rope. So now I'm about to climb up this ladder with the chainsaw. A ladder on top of a roof to cut that branch. Now that's just stupid. But I was like, I'm going to do it. And I was, pretty heavy. Not like now. It'd be a lot easier now. 55 pounds less. But look at this. I'm like, holy shit. This is crazy. And I'm like, gotta start the chainsaw, keep it running till I get up there. Ronald is filming it. Eric and Al are down there. I told Mom, get in the house. Because I didn't want her to see me do this. She would have been screaming. And here we go. Here we go. And that ladder moved. I thought I was going to fall. I'm pretty high. And Mom is watching. She's out there. I didn't even notice she was out there. She doesn't know what I'm doing, though. She can't see me. She went back in the house. And there it goes. Boom. And I got it. And then I was able to cut the rest of the tree in sections. But that was stupidly risky. And that was when that tornado was nearby, about 5-6 years ago. That was crazy. That was a big risk. But remember, the guys, we had it tied with rope, and they were pulling it. As I was cutting it, they were pulling to the right. So it would swing that way, away from the house. So the two guys were holding that rope. It was all very risky, but it worked. That's the main thing. It worked. But that's the kind of stuff that happens. Now, I'm sure everybody's seen this horrific stuff coming out of North Carolina, down south. Oh my God. It's horrible. Horrible. I just want to see windy. I just hope that the maps have changed, because they were forecasting something to develop in the Gulf. My windy updated. Version 43, introducing the new features and enhancements. Tell us what you think. I haven't done it yet. How would I know? Well, so far, I'm not crazy about your enhancements, because it's not working. Wow, what's going on? There is a glitch with Windy. I'm going to try to open it up with Google. Could be a Firefox thing. It is. Am I signed into my account? Yes. It's working on Google. So let's take a look. I haven't looked in a few days. This one should be going north. There's no way it's coming this way. This is definitely going to go up. I thought so. There's a system down here, but that's on the other side. This is the euro. Oh, thank God that's going up. Okay, now there's a system here. Unorganized. Definitely not organized. Thank God for that. It's not organized. There's a system offshore here though, and there's still something right there. Okay, that one's moving away. This one is still unorganized. It's still there, but unorganized. So that's a good sign. That is a really good sign. Let's see what the American model is showing, which is less reliable. There's a system down here, but that's way, way, way out. This is good. See, there's a system there, but this, it's showing the same thing, unorganized. That's because there's a front coming down from the north. That's the saving grace right there. It's pushing it. It's keeping it from coming in. That's good news. That is good news. So thank God for that. These folks definitely don't need another storm. That's just not good, what happened down there. But looks like nothing is developing. We still have a few weeks left of the hurricane season, but it's coming down now. The peak is technically September 10th, believe it or not. The peak of the hurricane season here, September 10th. Today's October 2nd, so now it's starting to come down. November 1st, you could pretty much say it's over, hopefully. So a few more weeks. And the temperatures here have been amazing. I'm not complaining about that. It's been warm. Cold at night, that's normal. Chilly. I actually want to see the weather. Look at this. Look at these temperatures for October. It's insane. 74 tomorrow, 78, 75, 71. Then we start getting to normal next week. 62, 63. Still getting close to 70 though. This is awesome. That's great weather for us for here. I ain't complaining. Let me see. I'm gonna check one more thing. I gotta go soon. I'm just looking for something. What am I using? Oh, am I using Google still? I think I am. It's the wrong thing. I need to go here. Mom's listening to country music, Christian music. I'm looking for something specific. Okay, this. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So this gives you an idea. But I'm gonna have to go back. That's January. I'm gonna go. Well, this is the end of last month. Just to give you an idea. So last week up to Monday, it was in the 70s. This is pretty decent temperatures here. This is good. Now, the average high for September, wish I can look. I'm looking now. Here we go. I found it. The average in September is 74.3. But then it goes down as you go closer to now October. The average temperature here in October is 61. So the temperatures are right about where they need to be. They're pretty average. The scary part of this, looking at the numbers, is the pattern over the last 10 years and how the weather has changed dramatically. Warmer. If I go to watch this is just insane. If I go to say January of 2014, let's just say, right here, look at these temperatures. Let's go back a little bit. Just look at this carefully, because numbers don't lie. Stats don't lie. people lie, but the numbers don't. So if you look at these temperatures in January 10 years ago, the high, and this is what drives me nuts, the highs here would be like, the average high is 36, 35. This is the way it used to be here. 30s, teens, 20s. Then there was one spike day here of 55. Back to 18 the next day, the high. 21 the high, 32, 34. Here's another anomaly, two of them. 61, drop right back down. 46, 48, coming back down. Not bad. And then the bottom drops out. Teens and 20s. Teens and 20s. Oh shit, I just hit something. Let me go back. Teens and 20s. And that's the end of the month. Watch what happens. Let's skip. Let's go to this year, January. Let's go back. It is so bizarre. That's why it doesn't snow here hardly anymore. Because the temperature, look, it's just, and this has been going on. It's even worse when we go back in time. You could see how it's building up. Now we have 40s, lots of 40s, some 30s, upper 30s, 55, 54, 40s, 48, 59, 37. Oh, there's a little drop there. High 28 for a few days. There's some. Not bad. Back up to the 50s, 40s. You don't see constant 20s though. 30s. Okay. Let's go back even 2 years. Let's go to 2022. Just to show you the pattern. It doesn't snow hardly here anymore. The temperatures have been insane, above normal, for years now. Okay. Look at this. 2 years ago, 50s. Here's a drop. 30s. Remember, we hardly saw 30s in the 2014. There's a lot of teens and 20s. 30s. 30s, nice. 40s. 40s, 30, 45, 37. There we go, a little drop. 37. Not bad. Not too bad. January is our coldest month. That's why I'm doing this. Let's see this one. 2023. There's so many 40s and 50s. This is so bizarre. It's not like an anomaly. It just happens all the fucking time now. 52, 54, 45, 54, 48, 48, 45. 37, that's above normal. 43, 41, look at this, 50, 55. There's a little drop. It's our January. We're supposed to be in the 20s. 36, 39, 37, 50. 46, 37, still above normal. 37, 39 was the high. 41, 36, 39, 41, 43, 39, 50, 48, 48. This is the trend. This is the trend. It's getting warmer. Overall, average. So when you do the median, you take all the numbers, you add them all up, you make your average, or you could put them in a list and you get that middle number, and that's your high, you get the average. We're above normal. We've been above normal for quite some time now. I'm not complaining though, because I don't have to worry about removing that snow like I used to. It's been a while since I removed a lot of snow here. It's been a while. There were times when in April there'd still be snow on the ground. I haven't seen that in years. It melts. Like we could have a storm. It might snow, but the next morning it's gone because it got too warm. It melted. Now the reason, and I studied weather. The reason that this is happening, and I say this over and over and over again until people get it through their heads. It's the shift in the jet, and it's been consistent. And this, I always look at this every year. So I'm going to zoom out the map. So, of course, and this what drives me nuts when people that live here in the snow belt in here, they say, well, it's snowing here. Ha 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 ha. It's supposed to snow there. It's supposed to snow there. You're getting the Arctic air coming down from Canada from the jet stream. It's supposed to snow there. If it doesn't snow there, then we really have problems. So the jet comes down, the jet stream, and it's been doing a lot of really dips all the way down to Texas, the panhandle. That's why they've been getting colder temperatures even in Texas. The jet is dropping really down south. And guess where it's going from there? Usually the jet would go out here to the mid-Atlantic. No, the jet has been bending like this and out. It's been creating this incredible weather pattern. And whenever the storms develop on the jet with the low pressures, as the jet's going up to our west and north and then out eventually, when you have a storm here riding it, we're on the warm side of that storm. A low pressure goes counterclockwise. So it's bringing up the warmer air from the south up toward us. So we're not getting the storms like we used to. We still get nor'easters from time to time that ride up the coast. Now what happens? We're on the cold side. If the low is here, say here, well, it's the wraparound is bringing this colder air down where we get the snow. The colder air is being pulled down when we have a nor'easter. That's what it does. If you're on, like right here, let's make believe this was here. This is the colder side as it brings down that colder air. If you're on this side, it's bringing up the warmer air from down south. So that's what's been happening here for the last few years. We've been on the warm side of these storms, not the cold side. And that's why we're not getting the storms like we used to. We get rain, or we're on the border where it does snow at the beginning, but then it turns to rain because that warmer air is being pulled. Another thing that was going on a lot, which I'm going to be watching these weather patterns, is a high pressure. And I don't see one right now to use it as an example. That's a low. So there's no high that I can use as a model. There's a kind of a high starting. So a high pressure is clockwise. If there's a high pressure sitting here in the wintertime, well, what's it doing? It's bringing up the warmer air up the coast. It's bringing that warmer air. So we're not getting that cold blast like we used to. And that's the weather pattern that has been changing. It's all about that jet. Back in the time, the jet would go off the mid-Atlantic and we'd be on the colder side of the jet. Because if the jet is on this side, it's warmer on the south side of the jet and it's colder on the north side of the jet. That's just the way it works. So when that jet stream is coming up to our west and going north and then out, we're on the warmer side of the jet stream. We're not in the cold bubble. And that's what's been going on here for the last 5-6 years. It doesn't matter if it's La Nina, El Nino, because people like to use that. Oh, it's La Nina, it's El Nino. Bullshit. Not here. It's about that jet. And that's why Texas, Texas especially, northern Texas, you know, when they have these ice storms and snowstorms and their utilities are not prepared for this. Their infrastructure is not prepared for this. They better get their shit in gear. Because if this pattern continues and the weather gets more extreme, you can expect more cold temperatures in Texas. And they're not equipped to deal with it. They have to do something to upgrade their infrastructure. And a lot of times they'll just wait till something happens and then address it. Genghis, you're in Louisiana. Did you have quite a few cold days below normal in Louisiana last winter? Because that jet was coming down way south and then bending back up. I'm sure you felt that cold air in Louisiana, depending where you are in Louisiana. If you're on the Gulf Coast areas, I mean, but if you're in northern Louisiana, you got a taste of that cold air being dragged down by that jet stream. So they need to be serious and not ignorant and not ignore it. They need to look at these weather patterns and see, and I'm sure they have people in management that are looking at this. It's all about the money. You had some hard frost and light snow. All I'm saying is it's better to be prepared than caught unprepared. And some of these southern states need to start thinking about that. Now, who knows? Maybe the pattern will change this year. Like, I can keep going back to the numbers. Ever since 2000, for here I'm talking now, ever since 2019, really, you could see the change in the temperatures in our winters going up for the last 5-6 years. Now, obviously, if you live in a higher elevation, it's colder in a higher elevation. It should still be snowing. You're in a higher altitude. It's colder air. When that shit starts to rain and it's not snowing, we have a real problem. Because even at that elevation, and it's not cold enough to snow, in areas that should be like ski country, then we really have a fucking problem. Excuse my language. Then we really have a problem. But it is. And like I always say, I don't care if you want to say if it's man-made CO2 or the planet going through a cycle or it's this or that. I don't care how your opinion is of it. The point is, the consensus is, yes, the earth is warming. It is getting warmer. The blame game doesn't matter, or the cause. It's the point that it is happening. And it needs to be addressed. Period. It should be cold in Greenland or Iceland. It's supposed to be. Stelios. If that shit starts to get warm, then we're in trouble. But do you see what I'm saying? Overall, the overall picture here? And by the way, a comment was made. I didn't watch it because I was too busy. No, solar panels are not made majority. Sorry, that was a false thing. They're not 80% made in China. Wrong. That was bullshit. That was bullshit. I was like, When I saw that come up on a thing, a message on my thing, I was like, what? I got fucking solar panels. I did my research on solar panels. That is an absolute lie. I was like, they're made here. And the components are not made in China. Do you know where they're made? South Korea. Most of it comes from South Korea. Some of the components, not China. Now, yes, there could be some stuff coming in from China, but it's not the majority. I was like, what? New York State is one of the biggest producers of solar. And I'm like, did that just happen? No, that's not true. A lot of it's being manufactured right here. Now, they have ties to the companies, like I said, in South Korea, a lot of them. What? How much is it now? How could that be? How could that be? You got to put batteries in that. I think that's impossible. She's saying her sugar's 500. That's scary. And like I've pulled up my data on my solar panels. I produce more, even on a cloudy day, that I'm using. And I've said this. I could prove it on the phone, how much my solar panels have saved me. In the summertime, those panels saved me close to $1,000 off my electric bill. Close to 1,000. Just in the summer months. This summer was warm. July was a killer. Very hot. And I'm like, what are they talking about? Now, and not everybody can get solar because you have to have the right environment. No trees facing toward the south, east, west, sun, west, all that. Not everybody fits the criteria to get solar. You have to be in the right setting. But I'm like, what? I didn't pay for the panels. I pay $125 a month to have 26 panels on my house. Then I have to pay $33 for a connection fee. Let's do the math. That's $153 a month. Do you know what I would be paying if I got my power from the utility company at 17, 18 cents per kilowatt? I'd be paying $300 more or more. So don't tell me that solar isn't the way. And if any of these panels have any kind of issue, they come and replace them free. They come and fix them. And it's the utility companies that are raising the hikes. You don't even want to see what they charge per kilowatt in New York City, Con Edison. It's close to 30 cents. Oh, let me go. I'll be right back. She's panicking. I'll be right back. I am. I'm coming. I told him your sugar was 500. What's going on? Change the batteries. You're already to the metformin. Get dressed just in case I have to take you to the hospital. This is getting out of control. Take the metformin you tried. Shake those. Change the. Where's the testing? Change the battery. That can't be. You can't be. Did you eat today? I need to ask you a question. Well, give me your test and let me check it out. All right. Bring me everything you can do. I have a meeting in 10 minutes. I'm just telling you. If I have to take you to the hospital, I'll take you to the hospital. Alexa, call Billy's son.
Calling Billy Son's Alexa devices.
Where's my phone?
Call from Billy
Alexa,
Son.
stop. Alexa, call Billy's son. I can't find my phone.
Calling Billy Son's Alexa devices.
Not Alexa devices. Call my phone. Alexa, stop. Where's my phone? Alexa, call Billy's son.
Which should I call? Billy Son's phone or Alexa devices?
Phone.
Calling Son's home.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. Oh my God. Anyway, and I'm going to show you. It's for real. I mean, facts are facts. You know, you hear so much bullshit. Facts are facts. Let me go to my solar. Because I can monitor my solar. And I can get the numbers from my solar. Right here. Let's look at the production for last month. It's for the month of September. Okay, monitoring. It's logging in. Okay, let's see. Live status. So I need glasses. That's what I need because I can't really see these numbers. Now, for some reason, why am I consuming all that right now? What's going on? Something is consuming a lot right now. Unless she's got... Oh, I'm going to suffer today. She's going to torture me today. I could tell. It's coming. Okay. So this is my numbers from September. I took from the electric company 386.6 kilowatts. I produced 810 kilowatts. I exported 529 kilowatts. So the net, I exported 143 kilowatts. I get credits for that. I was in the plus. So I got nothing from the electric I gave them, which cost me zero from the electric company. That's the month. The blue is my production. The orange is coming in from them. Well, there's a lot of blue there. I gave them 143. I produced more than I consumed. That was this past month. You got to see the numbers for like the summer. July was one of the hottest summers on record for a lot of people. Oh shit, I got to go to a meeting. Let's look at July. I exported in the month of July with the air conditioner on, the pool's on. I still produced more than I consumed, and I gave out 140. Again, what does that mean for my electric bill from them? Zero. Zero. I paid my utility company zero for electric. I gave them 140 kilowatts. They owe me. That was in the hottest month. With my air conditioners on, with my pool on. And I still was in the plus. My bill, $33 to stay connected in taxes. What I pay a month for the panels, $125. Do the math. Do you know what my electric bill would have been in the summer months in July normally from the utility company only? $400. I saved $250 in 1 month. So the numbers don't lie. And I can go on and on. I can go to August. And I got to go because I got a meeting in 5 minutes. But this is just to give you an example. Let's see, what was these numbers? So August, I only gave them 86, but I was still in the plus. So what do I pay the electricity company? Nothing. Except the connection fee and taxes. Because New York, you have to stay connected to the utility company. You can't be, this is the thing that drives me nuts, not to be completely off grid. You have to stay connected to them. So what's the rate of kilowatts? Do you realize what I would have spent in these summer months on electric if I didn't have these panels? That's the difference. And until you see the numbers and you see the actual savings, solar saves money big time compared to utility companies. And the utility companies are charging more money all the time per kilowatt. They're going up. They're not coming down. They're not stable. They could be stable for a little while, but they always go up. So as they continue to rave about all this and put down solar, well, guess what? The people who have solar, they know what their money they're saving. They don't care what these people are talking about because they don't know. Because they don't know, they don't have it. They don't see the numbers. It is, but like I said earlier, not everybody can get solar because you might live in the coast where it's foggy. The weather is not conducive to have solar, or you might live in an area where you're surrounded by trees, or you don't have the west facing or east, like facing the sun right on your roof, or you live in an apartment building. The apartment building doesn't have solar. Wherever you live. So it's not for everybody. So it's BS when you hear this bullshit. Just think about that, what they're charging per kilowatt for your electricity. You should do your own research and look at your utility company and look at the history, what they charged you 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and now, and see where those prices are going to get your electricity. Then maybe a light bulb might go off and say, shit, I could be saving tons of money with solar. And New York State offers a big incentive on solar. Tax credits, 5,000. They offer so much stuff. But before I go, because I got to go. So this is Con Edison in New York City. As of February 2024, the standard residential rate is just over 24 cents per kilowatt. It's mostly, look at the charge. The rate is made up of a delivery charge of 14 cents and a supply charge of 10. 24 cents per kilowatt. They're killing people. All right, let me go because I have a situation going on here with my mother. Plus, I got a meeting. Yeah, you have a situation. Your sugar's high. Yes. Anyway, everybody, have a great rest of your day. Be well, be blessed, be safe. Let me go because there's things going on here. Yeah, people are black-pilled. They just don't know. They listen to what they see or watch or hear, and they believe everything. They believe it, but they don't know, and they need to do their own research. That's what I would say. Do your own research. Find out for yourselves. Anyway, I got to run because Mom's panicking, and I got a meeting. Be well, be blessed, be safe. Everybody have a great rest of your afternoon.